If the sine of t equals 1/8 and t is in quadrant number 1, find the exact value of the sine of 2t, the cosine of 2t, and the tangent of 2t algebraically without actually solving for t. Okay, let's start with the fact that we are in quadrant number 1. And here's my right triangle, and this angle here is t, and they're telling me that the sine is 1/8. Well, the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, so I can now use the the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, to figure out this side right here. So let's see, side 1 squared plus b squared equals the hypotenuse squared. 1 squared is 1. 8 squared is 64. If you subtract 1 from both sides, you get b squared equals 63. And then if you take the square root of both sides, you get the square root of 63. So that's what this side is here. And so now, since the sine of t is 1/8, I now know that the cosine of t is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which would be the square root of 63/8. Okay, and now, that's not a very good square root of 63. And now I can come up here and I can find the sine of 2t using this function here, because the sine of 2 theta, or in this case 2t, is going to be 2 times the cosine of t, 2 times the sine of t times the cosine of t, which equals 2 times the sine of t is 1/8. And the cosine of t, I just figured that out, that's the square root of 63/8. Okay, and then I'm going to cross cancel t into itself or 2 into itself once and into the 8 4 times, so that 1 times 1 times the square root of 63 is my numerator, over 4 times 8 is 32 is my denominator, and there's my first answer. That is the answer for the sine of 2t. Then, in order to find the cosine of 2t, I have some options here, because since I know the cosine and I know the sine, I can use any of these to figure out the answer. But I'll just go ahead and grab the first one here. The cosine of 2t is going to equal the cosine squared of t minus the sine squared of t, and the cosine is the square root of 63/8, and we're going to square that, minus the sine was 1/8 squared. Well, when you square a square root, it cancels it out, so you're just left with 63, but then 8 squared is 64, minus 1 times 1 is 1, and 8 times 8 is 64. 63 minus 1 is 62/64, which are both even numbers, so that becomes 31/32, and that is my cosine 2 of theta. Let me just highlight all these things for you. The sine of 2t is the yellow, cosine of 2t, sorry, not theta, is the blue, and now I need to figure out the last one. Let's see. I also had to find, I found that. And now we need to find the tangent of 2 theta. And the tangent of, well, tangent is sine over cosine. So, yeah. So the tangent of 2t is going to be the sine of 2t over the cosine of 2t. So basically I'm going to be taking my yellow answer and putting it over top of my blue answer. And okay, so the square root of 63 over 32 over 31 over 32. I'm dividing by fractions, and when you divide by a fraction, that is the same thing as multiplying times its reciprocal. Dividing by the 31 over 32 is the same as multiplying by 32 over 31, which is nice because now the 32's just cancel out, and so I'm left with the square root of 63 over 31. And that is the answer for the tangent of 2t. And I did it all algebraically without ever knowing exactly what t was, and I got them all right. There's my square root of 63 over 32 for sine of 2t. Cosine of 2t was 31 over 32, and the one I just found, the square root of 63 over 31. Green light means go.